Andrew Loberg here. I'm here out on Lake Oroville in Northern California, and it is an exciting time to be on the water. We are in the middle of a summer to fall transition. The summer to fall transition happens from the main lake in the summertime feeding areas, and when that water starts cooling down from long nights and cooler temperatures, a lot of the bait fish from way down deep like to come up and surface on top and head to main lake points, secondary points, and eventually they'll be in the backs of cuts. And right now we're in the transition from summer to fall, and a lot of these fish are staging up on main lake points and secondary points leading into the backs of creeks. The one thing about fall that I would recommend to most people is, since there is a lot of bait coming out of main creeks, main river channels, the lakes get so flooded with bait fish. With that, it can be really tricky to find populations of bass that are catchable. There are a lot of fish you can see blowing up here and there, but the one big pointer I'd give you is to utilize the wind. On this particular spot that I'm fishing, I have a main lake point that comes out, and there is a little bit of a wind break that kind of funnels around in an area that doesn't have as much wind. This wind break right here will hold a lot of bait that can't fish or can't swim in that current. So these main lake points, before they go into the backs of these creeks, they'll stage up and group a lot. It is a great way to target a lot of fish catches. That being said, with bait really high in the water column this time of year, the Stacy 90 is a perfect presentation for those feeding fish to target. I use it in a variety of colors, all based off watercolor. Right now, the water is a little bit stingy after a little bit of rain we got, so I'm using the chartreuse shad, covering a lot of water. If you cover a lot of water and find one fish, there's going to be multiple behind it. Here we are in the fall throwing a jerkbait. Now I want to talk cadences, and that's basically the rate of how fast you're retrieving the Stacy 90. Now compared to the winter and the fall, or in the spring I should say, that jerkbait is moving a lot slower, longer pauses, and you're basically making them feed in reaction. We're doing something very similar in the fall, but it's a little bit higher pace. Since we are off the summer pattern, their metabolism is still high, they're feeding on a lot of bait up shallow. With that being said, you want to have a very fast presentation. We go from the deep offshore, ledge fishing, big crankbaits, fast moving baits, and it is a very similar presentation of how fast you're moving it, but now we're just doing it at a little bit higher water column. So I'll kind of show you my favorite cadence in the fall, and it's just super fast. You don't really want to pause the bait too much. I reel the bait down to depth, give it about 3 cranks to the handle, and I'm moving it very fast. I just do one small pause just to give that bait just a little bit different look. Works to suspend, just have them right there. But you want to make it very fast, because the bait, like I said, there's a lot of bait, you have a little wind pushing, and you want your Stacy 90, your jerkbait, to stand out a little bit more than the rest of the bait fish. So a very fast moving cadence is what I like to do. See, I just have them right there. Just reeling it in. But like I said, 4 or 5 cranks to the handle going down. You just want to move it really fast, short pauses, and just be very erratic with the cadence. Because like I said, metabolism is high, they're feeding, and this way in the fall you want to cover a lot of water. Having a faster cadence, you can cover a ton of water. So yeah. just wrapped up here on Lake Orville. Had a blast, caught a ton of fish out here. The top technique that I was using today was definitely the jerkbait, specifically the Stacy 90. This is a highland reservoir, so a lot of fish, they stay in that deeper zone. A lot of bluff walls, long points, and things like that. So you can definitely find the fish in that 10 to 15 foot water column. Water's clear, so even if you're fishing this bait over 30 to 40 foot, those fish can see that presence of the bait fish and they'll go ahead and hit it. If you're fishing a natural lake or a lowland reservoir, my favorite other ones is a lightning pointer. When they get in that 0 to 5 foot of water, lightning pointer is a great way. Super slim, darts really fast, you can cover a lot of water. Next up would be just the regular pointer. It's a bigger profile, it still goes to that same depth. Cool part about the pointer series is you can use it many different line sizes, from 10 pound all the way up to 20 pound test, depending how shallow those fish are. All the different varieties of colors. My two favorites are that chartreuse shad like I just showed you and that ghost minnow. Hard to beat depending on the watercolor. A little bit stained or some chop. That chartreuse shad, really clear. Got that ghost minnow's a killer. Another bait that we used out here on Lake Orville, caught a numerous amount of fish on them, is a crankbait. And this is a new crankbait that not a lot of people have thrown, and I absolutely love it. It's been chewed on. It's the Lucky Craft 1.0 DD DRS. That DD part of the name is that deeper diving square bill, and it hunts and hits rock, comes off wood really easily, but also has that small profile. And that's kind of what I look for a lot of times in cranking in the fall, because a lot of the bait fish is small, especially out here out west. When you get out towards eastern part of the states and into the gizzard shads and stuff, I like to go to the 1.5 DD DRS, a little bit bigger profile, same depth range, but just creates a bigger profile in the water to represent those bigger shad. The DRS in both those crankbaits represent the rattle system that they have in Lucky Craft's crankbaits. If you're out fishing in the fall and need to cover a lot of water, check out those line of crankbaits and you'll have fun.